What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is another Star Wars Mandalorian uh, video. Today we will be continuing our discussion and recap of the first season of The Mandalorian. So episode 2. The title of this one was called The Child. So the Mando is on his way back to the ship after finding Baby Yoda. And he encounters a group of bounty hunters. They're all Trandoshan, so that's the same species as Bosk. And for those of you that don't know who Bosk is, that's the yellow-looking lizard-like creature in Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, the Mando fights off these bounty hunters, and the last bounty hunter is about to go grab Baby Yoda, and he uses his rifle and basically disintegrates the last guy. That was pretty cool, and we got to see its full use, see how devastating a shots that his rifle can do. So the Mando then goes back to the Razor Crest to see a bunch of Jawas tearing it apart. And he ends up taking out his rifle again, and he disintegrates 3 or 4 Jawas, and the Jawas get into their sand crawler and escape, or trying to escape, and the Mandalorian goes and attacks them, basically, and is trying to get his way up to the top of the sand crawler to try and stop them and get all of his parts back for his ship. So what happens is when he gets to the top, the Jawas use their blasters, and it basically shocks the Mandalorian, and he falls down and is knocked unconscious. So he wakes, and Baby Yoda is still there in the moving cradle, and he goes back to the Ugnaught, and he tells the Ugnaught, what has happened, and the Ugnaught asks about Baby Yoda a little bit, like, this is who has been causing all the ruckus and problem for me. And the Ugnaught basically tells him, you can trade with the Jawas. So he goes back to the Jawas. The Ugnaught takes the Mandalorian to the Jawas, and they start discussing trade. And the Ugnaughts first ask for his Beskar, and obviously he says no to that because Mandalorian can't take off his helmet, and why would he give away any of his armor? Second, they ask for Baby Yoda, and he says no on that as well. Obviously, he just obtained Baby Yoda. He's trying to get his bounty for him. So the Ugnaught then asks, is there, anything he can trade? And one of the Jawas suggests the Sukar. So Sukar is Jawa for the egg. So he ends up going with the Jawas, and they go to this place, and the Mando takes Baby Yoda with him. So he goes into like this cave, and he's looking around using his headlight, and he shines it, and this eye opens. So the next thing we see is Baby Yoda outside of the cave, and a bunch of blasters being shot, or his blaster being shot. So we see the Mando then get chucked out of the cave, and his chest plate is all bent, and walks out this creature that looks like a rhinoceros, and they're called a mudhorn. So the mudhorn is trying to attack the Mando, and the Mando goes to pull his sniper rifle out, and it won't shoot. So he can't use that. His blaster doesn't do any damage really to him. And so this Mudhorn is kind of throwing the Mandalorian around, and he's basically knocked to the ground, and all he's got left is he takes out his vibro knife. And he's pointing the vibro knife at the Mudhorn, and the Mudhorn comes to attack, and he's about 5 to 10 feet away from the Mando, and we see Baby Yoda with his hand up. Baby Yoda's using the Force. When I first saw this, I called it. I had a feeling he was going to be able to use the Force. So that was pretty cool to see I was right on my prediction. And Baby Yoda holds him up in the air for a while, and then he drops him, and the Baby Yoda kind of lays back, falls down, and goes to sleep. So I think about that is I think he's meditating and getting rest, kind of like how Yoda had to get rest always after he was done using the Force, or he would meditate as well. And so when the Mudhorn falls to the ground, the Mando then stabs him kind of in the shoulder. And a lot of people at first thought, how could that kill a Mudhorn of that size? Well, since it's a vibro blade, and vibro blades are the same blades that the droids used in the Clone Wars, like the undercover droids. We first see them in the episode called Rookies in the Clone Wars series. So these blades kind of shake upon when you're stabbing somebody, and it basically slows down that person until they die, or creature. So the Mando kills the Mudhorn and goes back into the cave, finds the egg, and he goes back to the Jawas and trades the egg for the parts to his ship. So the Ugnaught then helps the Mandalorian go back to his ship. He helps piece it together, and he tells the Ugnaught of what happened. And the Ugnaught's not sure what he means. And he eventually finds out towards the end of the season what Baby Yoda is. And I'll talk about that in the later episodes that I do. But yeah, they take basically all night to put his ship back together. And Baby Yoda is still asleep. We're not sure, what's happening with him. And he thanks the Ugnaught for his time, and the Ugnaught thanks him for bringing peace to the valley. And that's when the episode ends, and the Mando leaves and is on his way back to Navarro. So I thought this was one of the better episodes in the series. I would definitely probably put it in my top 5 out of the 8 episodes in this first season. Some of the things I thought were cool is we got to see, again, the Mando use his flamethrower against the Mudhorn. And I thought the scene where Baby Yoda uses the Force was probably my favorite scene. I mean, you got to have somebody in there that can use the Force. It's Star Wars. So, and I think every film that we've had at least one person that is Force sensitive. Even in Solo, when Darth Maul came in Rogue One, Chirrut, he's Force sensitive. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good way to kind of wrap up his journey and mission on Arvala 7. Kind of meeting a new friend, going through some adversity to finish his job. So That's the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back tomorrow to analyze and talk about episode 3. Thanks for watching, guys.